All right, so Bliss asked me if I would do a video about my tattoos, and also in Gabrielle's world asked me some questions about my tattoos. So what you're about to see is the the video that I did back in 2009 on my old channel, and I've edited it quite a bit to make it so that the picture shows up while I'm talking about the tattoo, and I've also added, you know, some text and stuff like that. And then at the very end, I show you my newest tattoo and tell you a little bit about that. So I'll see you at the end. Today I'm gonna show you guys my tattoos. And you've seen my arms, probably seen the chest one a little bit, but I figured I could talk about them in order. I've tried to do them in order the order that I actually got them done. So I'm gonna talk about those, and let's see. I think I'll show it first and then I'll talk about it. So we'll do it like that. So here we go. So let's keep these stories short and sweet, right? I only have 10 minutes. Okay, so the first one that you just saw is my Harley Davidson bar and shield. That was my very first tattoo. I got it when I turned 18. I actually turn 8, or my birthday's in February, and so I got that one in March. The story goes that I've been begging my dad since I was 14. Please let me get a tattoo, please, please, please. And he said, you know what, when you're 18, you do what you want. So, turned 18, a month later, got a tattoo. I got it in Atlanta, Georgia at a place called Dr. Tattoo. And the guy, Dr. Tattoo, his name is actually Dale. Not really sure what ever happened to him, but he was pretty interesting fellow. Anyway, I got the traditional Harley Davidson bar and shield, not like it's the one that came before the one that you see now. So that's why it looks a little different. That is on my chest, over my heart. I was a huge Harley fan at the time, and still am to a point. That later. So that's tattoo number 1. So tattoo number 2 is a dagger that looks kind of strange, a little wavy, and it is on my upper right thigh. That was my second tattoo. I got it 5 years after my first tattoo. There's a long story behind that. I don't really have time to talk about that whole long story, but what I do have time to talk about is the circumstances under which I got this particular tattoo. My mom, my grandmother, and I all went to the tattoo shop, and each one of us got a tattoo. I got the dagger. My mother got a Tweety bird on her left shoulder. Yes. Mom, correct me if it's not your left shoulder. Sorry. And my grandmother got a daisies on her chest, I think. Anyway, so it was a family thing. So yeah, we all went and got tattoos. The only one in my family right at this moment that does not have a tattoo is my youngest brother, Mr. Dan Pants 79. And I don't think he will. I don't think he's a tattoo kind of guy, and that's cool. So that's tattoo number 2. So tattoo number 3 is a black widow spider along with a spider web right underneath it. Those weren't necessarily done at the same time, but they were done around the same time, also in Atlanta, and I cannot remember the lady's name that did those tattoos, but anyway, they had to be redone because they faded really bad. So anyway, so that what you're seeing in that picture is the redone version. It's kind of dark just because, again, it was, you know, it had to go over what was already there. But the guy that redid it, his name is Spike, and he was in Missouri, but he's since moved to some other state that I can't remember right now. But anyway, he did a pretty good job. I really wanted to make the spider look a little bit more real, a little more evil, and I think he did a pretty good job on that. So that's the story behind that one. Alright, the tattoo that you just saw was the face of a lady's face, and I got the original version of it done in Cherokee, North Carolina with my ex, and I had to also get that one redone because it had also faded pretty badly. Plus my bra strap had rubbed it, and it kind of rubbed the color off of it. Both the spider and the lady's face are on my back on either shoulder blade. So not too much to tell about that one. That was kind of a I want to get a tattoo in every state whim thing. And speaking of my ex, the tattoo that you just saw was a lotus flower at the top, and then it's supposed to be a bat head in the center, and then a pool of water. I'm an Aquarius, as I've mentioned before, and then the dragonfly at the bottom. I found a picture of a dragonfly that I really liked, and I had this lady in Georgia do that one. That actually, the top part of that is a cover-up. If you're planning on getting a tattoo, please consider not getting it of your significant other's name. That tattoo is a cover-up of my ex-significant other's name, and yeah, it was a pretty cool tattoo, the one that got covered up. The one that's there now, the bat head looks sort of like an alien, so I'm planning on getting that one redone. And the guy who did my spider, redid my spider in the lady's face, he and I were talking about ways to make it look more like a bat instead of an alien head, but then he moved, so I'm going to have to find somebody new to help me out with that one. But really think, before you get somebody's name on you, unless it's, a loved one, a blood relative, or a child, or which is a blood relative. Anyway, just make sure you're really gonna be with that person forever and ever and ever, or plan on getting it removed or covered up. So there you go. The love of the Egyptian theme. I absolutely love this tattoo. I love all my tattoos because, they all represent a different time in my life and that sort of thing. But this particular one, the Ankh that's in the center and the Eye of Horus that's up above it, those were there already. And that guy Spike, the one that moved away on me, I asked him if he would do something for me there, and I said, you know what, I want an Egyptian theme, do what you want. And he certainly did, and I have to say I'm very proud of that. I get more compliments on that tattoo than any of my others. Well, it's kind of, you don't usually see my others, but I do definitely get a lot of compliments on that one. And the whole purpose is that you have the sky, which is the woman at the top, and then you have the gods, the Egyptian gods down the side, and I'm looking at it because I can't see it here, but anyway, then you've got it goes down to the guy who's on the ground, and they all are connected. And so it's basically his concept was that it was like the circle of life, basically. And the pyramids are in there. I asked him to include the pyramids and to kind of make the Ankh look like it was in front of the sun, because Ra is the sun god, and the Eye of Horus watched over, he was a falcon, watched over the pharaohs and things like that. Anyway, yeah, there's definitely a lot going on in that tattoo, and I'd have to definitely say it's one of my favorites. So there you go. Next in line is the Crow Girl that you just saw. She is on my right calf, and she is actually a modification of Amy Brown's art. If you've ever seen Amy Brown, her art, she does a lot of fairies, kind of dark fairies, and very cute little fairies and dragons and things. But anyway, I found Crow Girl and I absolutely fell in love with her. I did change a couple of things. She had a tattoo. The Crow Girl actually had a tattoo on her of a crow, and it didn't quite look right to me, so I had the tattoo artist change it to more like a tribal tattoo on her. But she's my Crow Girl, and she just really to me comes across as a strong woman, who's sexy at the same time, and just maybe very she's very thoughtful, meaning that she thinks a lot. If that makes any sense. But yeah, that's the Crow Girl, and she is another one of my favorites. Also done in Atlanta at actually a place called The Illustrator. I can't remember the guy's name that did it, but anyway, so that's where that one was done, and that's what that one is. Next up is the Black Panther and the kanji symbol for truth. I got the Black Panther done in Georgia, in Kansas, at a place called Dragonfly Tattoo, and then I got the symbol done in Missouri at a place called Butch's Tattoo. The Black Panther tattoo is a very traditional looking tattoo. The only thing I had altered about that was, instead of just the scratches from where looks like he's climbing up my leg, I got some blood dripping down below his claws, or his, so that was the only change I really made, and I kind of asked him to make it look more tribal than just like the traditional Black Panther tattoo that you probably have seen on many people. And then the symbol for truth, I picked that specifically because I'm a believer in truth and telling the truth and being honest with yourself and being honest with others. And it was funny, when I got that tattoo, the next day I found out so many things that I didn't know. It was almost like things started to reveal themselves to me, and very interesting, very stressful time because I found out a lot of things that maybe I probably didn't want to know. But I definitely am a believer in truth, and I think that I have a whole theory behind truth telling and what lies are and that sort of thing. So I won't go into that here. But so anyway. Rambling, so going on to the next one. Ah, yes, the tribal bat. I do love bats, and this was really around the time that tribal style was getting pretty popular, and this was also done in Georgia at the Illustrator. A guy named Josh did it, and he actually drew the thing, and he also tattooed it on me. It was very, very, very extremely, very painful. This was the one that hurt me. This was the one that there was actual sobbing when I got this one. But yeah, I really loved it, and that was another situation where I said, hey, I really want a tribal bat. Let me see what you got. So he drew that up and put it on there. So there it is, and it took me about 6 months to get it done, just because it hurt so bad. The right side, I got the outline done first, and then I went back in a couple weeks after it healed, got the right side colored in, and it hurt so bad that it took me like 6 months to go back and get the left side. The left side wasn't so bad. So my witch, Yeah, isn't she great? Oh, I just love her. I love her. She is beautiful. She is on my upper left thigh, and very, again, strong woman, very sexy. Bats everywhere, and the cat is actually my cat Bella. I asked, and this was done by Spike, who was at the Illustrated Man, and then he opened his own shop. But this was the first one I actually had him do, and I gave him a picture of Bella, and I said, I want Bella there, because the witch tattoo was originally a piece of clip art that a friend of mine sent me, and it said Happy Halloween over the top of it. And she had this little weird little black cat statue sitting beside her, and I thought, oh no, I want my cat on there. So brought the picture to Spike and asked him to incorporate my cat into the picture, and he certainly did. And here is a close-up of Bella, what Bella looks like, and that looks just like Bella. The back piece. This symbol is called Wufu, W-U-F-U, and it's Chinese, a Chinese symbol, and it is means the 5 bats of happiness. And if you rewind a little bit and you look closely at the bats, you'll notice that they're intertwined. You'll also notice that the center is, and it's funny because Spike told me what he did. I told him, you know, this is the piece that I want, and I had found it on the internet, of course, and I said, in the center, you know, just do what you want, because he said it was the double prosperity symbol, for the Chinese double prosperity, either that or double happiness. Either way is good, right? But I just really love the way it looks. From a distance, it looks like a giant flower, and then when you get up close on it, it is there are 5 bats linked together by their wings. And if you look really close, you'll see that one of the bats is missing something. And Mom, don't tell anybody, because I know you know. But I thought it was really interesting that Spike didn't put this particular feature on this one bat, and I said, you know what, just leave it off. I said, that is the individuality piece. That is what makes that particular bat who he is. So, and that sort of represents me a little bit, showing that, you know, just because you don't look like everybody else, and just because you don't act like everybody else, that doesn't mean there's something wrong. It just means that you're special, or you are your own person. So anyway, those are my tattoos, and I'll say something about the pain factor while I'm in here, while we're talking about it. Yes, tattoos obviously do hurt. I mean, they're putting a needle in your skin at least 3 layers down. Hopefully not any more than that, and hopefully not any less than that. But yes, they hurt. But it depends. It depends on your pain threshold, how much pain you can tolerate, and it also depends on where on your body the tattoo is being placed. Like I said, you know, the lower back one for me was the worst. It was, yeah, horrific. But the other one's not so bad. I mean, yeah, there were some moments there where I was a little cringy, but none where I actually sobbed like that lower back one. So one that I did leave out was this one here, and let's see if I can get a good shot of that. This is all the way around my wrist, and I know that it's upside down, but what it says is Annie Mae, and there are 2 daisies there in the center. Let's see if I can get up on the thing. Anyway, that was, Annie Mae was my granny, my dad's mom, and she had a large part to do with raising me, and she was a really great lady. I thought, what better way to remember her than by putting her name on me and having people ask me about, what does your tattoo say? And I could talk about my granny. All right, so those were all my tattoos that I had until 2 years ago. And then this next one is a tattoo that my dad and I went to get together, and I actually made a video about that, specifically about that trip, and I'll link that down in the description. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got something out of this, that it let you know a little bit more about me and maybe about tattoos and how it feels and all that stuff. But of course, if you have any other questions or if you want to know anything more about my tattoos, let me know. And probably one question I didn't really answer was whether or not I'm going to get any more tattoos, and the answer to that question is yes. I do plan on getting more tattoos, and if I do, I will definitely do a video about them. All right, have a good day or good night or whatever, wherever you are, and I'll see you probably tomorrow with a Spooky University response. Bye.